Next on WVUA 23, we are almost done with this wet weather and looking toward a nice weekend.
A high police presence in Tuscaloosa over the weekend prompts concern and outrage from city leaders.
And we have new updates on the Baltimore Bridge collapse. Find out when the river may open. Once again, WVUA 23 News starts right now.
This is WVUA 23 News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mauricio Gomez.
And I'm Kennedy Payne. Our top story tonight. Police are working multiple cases following a violent and deadly weekend in Tuscaloosa. 4 people were shot and 1 person is dead, all in the same day. We spoke with residents and city leaders about this weekend's shootings. Now city leaders are urging residents to focus on conflict resolution rather than gun violence.
First of all, let me say that as a city leader, I'm outraged. I'm really concerned because losing the life of one person, whether that person was shot or the person that's doing the shooting, that's a total of 2 persons whose lives have been changed forever. Families' lives have been changed forever.
District 1 Tuscaloosa City Councilman Matthew Wilson is speaking of the recent gun violence in Tuscaloosa over the weekend. 30-year-old Terrell Devontae Williams is in custody after a homicide that happened in the Holt community Sunday. Around 2 a.m., officials responded to a call where they found 35-year-old Jakiria Rashad May had been shot multiple times. Authorities transported May to DCH, but he did not survive his injuries. Williams has been charged with 1 count of capital murder, which arises from the fact that the victim was shot and killed in the presence of his 10-year-old daughter. Just hours later, 3 people were shot at the Texaco gas station on McFarland Boulevard. Police identified the suspect as 27-year-old Jayshawn Reed. Reed was charged with 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of shooting into an occupied vehicle. All 3 victims are expected to survive. Many residents say they feel safer living closer to the University of Alabama because of the high police presence.
So being near Tuscaloosa, being near the college, I personally feel really safe, but sometimes when I step a little farther outside of it, driving that 10-15 minutes out, I do feel a little nervous, and especially hearing something like that. I didn't even know those shootings were happening, and then hearing people talk about it, it brings up quite, it scares you.
Councilman Wilson urged the residents of Tuscaloosa to take gun safety more seriously.
When people get guns and utilize them, please know what you're doing. Our community does not need any more homicides. Our community is a great community. Tuscaloosa is a great place to live. It's a great place to shop. It's a great place to go to school. It's the city of champions. And we don't want gun violence.
There have been a total of 6 homicide investigations in Tuscaloosa so far this year.
A woman is safe tonight after she told police she was being held against her will at a local hotel. It happened at Old English Inn Hotel off University Boulevard East Saturday morning. According to our partners, the ABC 3340, Tuscaloosa police said the SWAT team was brought in after the woman said 60-year-old Robert Eatman would not let her leave. The SWAT team tried talking to Eatman, but when he stopped responding, they made their ways inside the hotel and arrested him. The woman was not injured. Eatman has been charged with second-degree unlawful imprisonment.
A deadly shooting took place this weekend at a shopping mall in Florida. An on-duty security guard was shot and killed after trying to break up the bar fight. WVUA 23's Rachel Seal has more on the investigation and what police are saying led to the incident. Rachel.
Kennedy, 2 people were killed and 7 more were injured during an early morning shootout at Doral Mall last Saturday. Doral is about 30 miles west of Miami. Police say a fight broke out around 3:30 in the morning at the Martini Bar located inside the City Place Doral Outdoor Mall. A security guard tried to intervene but was shot and killed. Officers who were working at the bar then shot and killed the gunman. Officials say 6 bystanders and 1 officer were injured in the shooting. 2 of the injured remain in critical condition.
The security guard that was working intervened, and that's when the subject produced a firearm and shot and killed the security guard.
The injured police officer was treated and later released from the hospital. The authorities are investigating the shooting. Kennedy?
Thank you, Rachel. The shooting comes just 1 year after police trained for an active shooter drill at the mall. Mercedes employees in Tuscaloosa are set to vote on joining the United Auto Workers Union. More than half of the facility's 5,000 employees signed on to the bid to unionize. That paves the way for the plant to file a Friday petition asking the National Labor Relations Board to hold the vote. Unionization will require the support of 50% of the workers, plus one vote to pass. This is the second auto plant in the South to hold a vote on unionizing. A Tennessee Volkswagen factory is already set to a vote over the course of 3 days in mid-April. The Alabama and Tennessee factories are two of roughly a dozen automotive plants the UAW is trying to organize in southern states. Millions across North America experienced a nearly once-in-a-lifetime celestial occurrence Monday as the moon crossed paths with the sun. The day turned into night.
Reporter Ivan Rodriguez spent the day in Caryville, Texas in a half of totality for the historic solar event.
A breathtaking cosmic event witnessed by millions of Americans from as far south as Texas to the Midwest and the Northeast. Awe on the faces of children and adults alike as the moon blocked the sun, briefly casting the earth in darkness.
Day turns to night. Animals start to behave differently. We're seeing changes in the Earth's atmosphere. It's a mystical, mysterious experience.
It's an event as rare as it is beautiful, with the sun's corona visible only to those lucky enough to be in the path of totality.
We're the only planet in the solar system that this is true for. The apparent size of the moon in our sky is the same as the apparent size of the sun in the sky.
In the hours leading up to the eclipse, communities hosted parties to celebrate their geographic good fortune.
It'll be amazing.
A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, that's for sure.
Scientists taking advantage of those precious 3 to 4 minutes to unlock more clues into our planet and beyond.
Better understanding what's happening at the corona at the start of the action helps us to not only model and predict what could happen in the future, but better protect our spacecraft from space weather events and life on Earth, like our power grids and our communication systems.
The science, the spectacle, the serenity of the moment, a once-in-a-lifetime event. The next total solar eclipse visible from the contiguous United States will occur in August of 2044. In Kerrville, Texas, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
In Plano, Texas, 105-year-old Laverne Beiser watched his 13th eclipse. Beiser drove with his family to Maine for his first one back in 1963. Then he traveled all over the U.S. and the world to see others. He set up cameras and telescopes so he and his family could see or watch the historic event together. Beiser's daughter said sharing this eclipse was as special as their family's first. The lifelong astronomy buff said this celestial event was fitting to be his lucky 13.
Scientists recorded animal sounds to study their behavior during an eclipse. Scientists with Southern Illinois University made audio recordings across the path of totality in Carbondale, Illinois. They say the research shows birds tend to quiet down and nocturnal animals start to vocalize. NASA funded the project. Researchers say the area will experience its next solar eclipse in the next 350 years. Here in Tuscaloosa, the University of Alabama hosted a watch party to view the solar eclipse. More than 100 people showed up at the quad to see the unique event. However, the clouds blocked the eclipse. Several students expressed disappointment about not seeing the eclipse.
I was just excited, and I didn't get to see anything. The clouds ruined it, and now it's about to rain.
I went to 2 different libraries, sold out of glasses, stood out in this crowd right here for probably another 20 minutes.
And me and my friends all came out here, waited in line to get glasses, and then we just stared at the sky and it was just black. That was it.
The university's libraries, along the Department of Physics and Astronomy, handed out solar eclipse protective glasses.
An investigation is underway after a part of a crane collapsed in Fort Lauderdale. It happened Thursday, killing 1 construction worker and injuring 3 others. Witnesses say the crane collapsed before the evening rush hour. The debris from the crane left a hole in the bridge, which shut down traffic for a period of time. After doing temporary repairs overnight, the city of Fort Lauderdale announced the bridge will reopen Friday after rush hour. The current plan is to close the bridge down again to do more in-depth repairs. City officials say it will occur during overnight hours within the next month. This is the 4th crane-related death in South Florida since 2018. And there's a new time frame when the channel blocked by the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore will reopen. The U.S. Corps of Engineers announced they should have the Fort McHenry fully reopened by the end of May. Until then, the intended plan is to reopen part of the channel partially by the end of April. In the meantime, crews are in the process of removing wreckage from the site where a cargo ship hit the bridge. It collapsed on March 26 when the ship lost power. Authorities say clearing the channel will lead to reopening of the port to vessel traffic, but it will also allow for the continued search for bodies. 6 construction workers died during the collapse after they fell into the water. Only 2 of their bodies have been recovered so far.
11 people are recovering following a charter bus crash in Mississippi. Officials say most of the bus passengers were students from the University of South Carolina and members of a fraternity. The group was on their way Friday to a formal in New Orleans. 59 people were on board when a tire blew out on Interstate 10 in Hancock County. The accident resulted in a busted windshield and the driver was ejected. A passenger then took control of the bus and brought it to a stop. 9 people were taken to the hospital by ambulance and a helicopter took 2 others. There is no word yet on the extent of their injuries.
The deadline to file your 2023 taxes is less than a week away. Monday, April 15th is still the deadline to file your yearly tax return. If you fail and owe to file by then, the IRS will issue a 5% penalty for each month you are late. Remember, you can send your return to the IRS electronically or it must be postmarked by the 15th if sending by mail. You can file for an extension if you can't complete your paperwork by April 15th, and a new deadline will be October 15th.
A proposed ban would make giving money to the homeless from the roadways illegal in Louisiana. State Representative Dixon McMakin introduced House Bill 97 for what he says are safety reasons. If passed, it would make it illegal to give out cash to the homeless from the side of the interstate or in traffic. McMakin says the people handing out money are putting themselves and those around them at risk and holding up traffic. The city recently spent several $1,000s on a barricade under the Seacon overpass in Baton Rouge to help prevent litter, panhandling, and drug use. Some people in Louisiana have mixed emotions about the bill.
It would cut down on the congestion in an intersection, and also number 2, the person who is giving the money, let's try to keep them safe and let's the homeless people go through the proper channels of organizations here in the Baton Rouge area.
Individuals who would still like to give money to those in need are encouraged to donate to organizations and nonprofits. Oklahoma could soon become one of the states that raise the age of consent to 18. Representative Jim Olson says the bill aims to protect teenagers who may be in vulnerable situations. The current age of consent in Oklahoma is 16. Representative Olson also said he doesn't want to interfere with what may be considered normal. For example, some wondered what this may mean for teenagers who are close in age. It is still legal for an 18-year-old and 16-year-old to be in a relationship.
We don't want an older man, say a 35-year-old man who's a coach or an authority figure, to abuse his position with a 16-year-old to get her to consent. So we don't want that to happen.
Olson was also asked how he felt about the legal age of marriage with parental consent being 16. He said he does not recommend anyone under 20 to get married, but he does not want to make that a matter of law.
The Biden administration is trying a new approach to the student loan forgiveness. Find out what they're trying to plan to help the debt, pay the debt.
And there's a ruling in the defamation case against Todd Chrisley. Find out the latest plus more when we come back.
Universities in Texas have started closing diversity departments because of the state's anti-DEI law. The University of Texas at Austin is eliminating dozens of diversity, equity, and inclusion staff positions. The cuts come as the university works to comply with Texas's anti-DEI law. Senate Bill 17 bans diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives at public colleges in Texas and universities. Hundreds of higher education employees around the state have been laid off as DEI programs continue to shut down.
It's really a tragedy for the entire campus because moving forward towards a multiracial democracy, finding a way to implement social progress is an important part of our institutions of higher education.
A Texas Senate committee will hold a hearing next month to discuss how colleges and universities are complying with the anti-DEI ban.
If you or a family member owe on student loans, listen up. Relief may be on your way. The Biden administration is trying a new strategy to help more than 30 million borrowers who have student loan debt. The new initiative targets federal borrowers who have unpaid interest beyond a certain threshold, 20 or more years in repayment, eligibility for loan programs in which they're not enrolled, education from a so-called low financial value program, and certain hardships like medical debt. Many Republicans say taxpayers who didn't go to college shouldn't fund degrees for those who did.
Girl Scouts in Tennessee made it their mission to help find lost dogs their way home. The Girl Scouts used their cookie sales funds to purchase and install microchip scanners in their local libraries in Brentwood, Tennessee. Anyone who finds a lost dog in the area can use these to scan a microchip. A number will appear on the scanner if the dog is microchipped. You can use the number to call the vet or animal shelter.
It's devastating for us to see the lost pet signs around our community, and I just couldn't imagine if that happened to me.
Microchip IDs are also entered in a registry in the hopes of finding the dog's owner.
A federal jury found reality television star Todd Chrisley guilty of slandering a Georgia Department of Revenue investigator. The jury awarded Amy Doherty Hines $755,000 in damages. She accused Chrisley of launching a social media campaign against the department as they investigated Chrisley for financial crimes. Doherty Hines said he accused her of multiple crimes and wrongdoing. The ruling came in the same federal court where jurors found Chrisley and his wife Julie guilty of bank fraud and income tax evasion. Chrisley is already serving 15 years in prison for federal fraud charges. He is set for release in January 2033.
All right, let's take a look outside Tuscaloosa right now. We have a temperature of 63 and we still have some gloomy clouds. But the rain is almost done, so stay tuned to find more about that later. Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Let's take a live look outside our tower cam right now. You can see that it is still pretty gloomy outside. We have temperatures around 63. We got winds coming in from the southwest, a high of 64 and a low of 61 right now. And we're hoping to see that this gloomy weather will eventually go away. If you take a look here at our satellite radar, we got rains coming through the state still, but it looks like they are starting to head more north. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited about this because this rainy weather has been making me extremely tired. Now let's look away from the rains. We're looking at some current temperatures right now. Birmingham is sitting at around 65 degrees. We got Tuscaloosa around 63. If you look over here up around Coleman, we're going around 64 degrees, but we are going to go see some higher temperatures later next week. So now let's look at our evening planner in the Tuscaloosa area. Around 7 p.m., it's going to be about 65 degrees. 10 p.m., again, gloomy, but it's 63 degrees. And around 1 a.m., unfortunately, we are going to see those showers come back. But if you look like our local forecast around 7 a.m., we had about 58 degrees. We did see the sun peek through a little this morning. Around 12 p.m., 64 degrees, and around 3 p.m., 68 degrees. Now let's take a look at an extended forecast. Thank God we are finally going to be seeing some sun towards the end of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be around 84, 85 degrees. And it looks like it'll even be nice for a day on Saturday, around 75 degrees, and we will see that sun again. So how do you guys feel about this warm weather coming back?
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait for it to be warm again, feeling like spring, summer.
Seeing the sun even, I'm excited to see the sun again. It's been all rain.
Being that I'm from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, I'm pretty excited about warm weather again. These past few months have been a little rough for me.
Exactly, yeah. Coming back to you.
Yes, essentially. The National Weather Service confirmed 2 tornadoes from Tuesday's storms in North Alabama. Meteorologists surveyed the damage in Colbert and Limestone County to make the determination. There was one EF1 tornado in Colbert County producing winds over 90 miles per hour and a 3-mile-long damage path. 2 homes had major damage and 10 to 15 others had minor damage. There was also an EF0 tornado in Limestone County producing winds of 85 miles per hour and a mile-long damage path.
These storms continued into parts of Georgia, Illinois, Kentucky, Ohio, and Tennessee, too. The strong winds knocked down cinder block walls and took roofs off of some homes in the town of Sunbright. An EF1 tornado also left several downed power lines. The tornado also destroyed the Schubert Funeral Home right in the middle of downtown.
It's devastating, but again, this stuff, it can be replaced. Some things we just want to get out for the rain.
Tornado victims in Sunbright and Morgan County are not eligible for federal assistance. Anyone who has been affected by the tornadoes are encouraged to take photos and contact their insurance company.
Strong winds Saturday in Colorado led to toppled trees, damaged homes, and power outages across the Denver metro area. The National Weather Service recorded winds over 90 miles per hour and in some places over 95 miles per hour. The storm also knocked out power in places, leaving about 100,000 customers in the dark. A Littleton resident whose home was damaged by a neighbor's tree said it was a sleepless night.
You hear a steady breeze, and then all of a sudden there's just loud wind. You could tell that it was the gust, and you could hear the trees moving, and so it was scary.
As of today, 65% of outages are restored.
A Tennessee Cracker Barrel sold out of antique items in 30 minutes after holding an antique sale. A renovation at the Cracker Barrel in Mount Juliet, Tennessee prompted managers to have an old-fashioned yard sale. People drove from more than an hour away to get those unique items that hang on the walls of Cracker Barrel. The restaurant had around 600 to 700 pieces that sold out in less than 30 minutes. The manager says they are going to try and find more decor in their warehouse to hopefully come back and sell more. The managers say this is the first time a Cracker Barrel has sold out of their antique items like this.
Coming up now that the madness is over, we will take a look at the celebration for the two-time national champions, the UConn Huskies. And the South Carolina Gamecocks had the perfect ending to their undefeated season. WVUA 23 Sports is next. The UConn Huskies secured back-to-back national championships after playing Purdue Monday night. They took down the Purdue Boilermakers 76-60 Monday night in Glendale, Arizona. Tristan Newton of the Huskies led the team, scoring 20 points. And the hard-to-miss 7-2 giant Donovan Klingen also says a big role in Monday night's game, guarding Purdue's 7'4" center. Now, Klingen got the ring and the back-to-back championship, but the only thing missing from the big night was his mom.
I worked hard, and I tried to make it to a very high level, and I was able to make history. I know she's smiling down on me. I know she's happy for me. I wish she could be part of it, but like I said, I know she's proud of me.
UConn fans celebrated the Huskies by welcoming the team back at the airport. The city will host a victory parade Saturday, April 13th, to congratulate the UConn men's basketball team. The Alabama men's basketball team made a historic run to the Final Four, but they did not get the outcome they wanted following Saturday night's game. The final score of 86-72 does not indicate the competitiveness of the matchup. During the first half, the Tide and the Huskies fought back and forth for the lead. Mark Sears finished the game with 24 points, scoring 8 of 11 from the three-point range. It wasn't enough to overpower the top-ranked Huskies. Coach Nate Oates says he's proud of his team and how they played in the spotlight.
We had an unbelievable run, and these guys kind of got us over the hump to get there. So can't say enough about the leadership of these guys, particularly in the last few weeks. So unfortunate that, it ended tonight, but, we played arguably the best team in the country. I mean, UConn's top 5 in offense and defense. It showed tonight. I thought our guys did a good job.
One play in particular is a memory keeper for Bama's Grant Nielsen from the Final Four game against UConn. The 6'11" forward did a slam dunk over UConn's 7'2" center, Donovan Klingen. It helped close the gap in the second half of the game. The dunk and many other plays by Nielsen and others will be memories to last a lifetime. They are reflecting and already looking ahead to next season.
We just told each other we made history. It didn't end the way we wanted to, but we can't hang our heads on this season, and we just got to kind of use this game as motivation going into next year.
The Tide returned home Sunday night to supportive fans greeting them at the airport. The team signed autographs and took pictures with fans showing their appreciation for the support. The Lady Gamecocks took down the Hawks with a final score of 87-75. The Gamecocks had a perfect season, winning 38 games in a row. What better way to cap off the season than with a national championship? South Carolina is the 10th school to win a national title after an undefeated season. Freshman sharpshooter Tessa Johnson led the way with 19 points, and senior center Camila Cardoso taking on 15 points of her own in what was her final game in a South Carolina uniform. The Gamecocks are the first team since 2000 to win a title after returning none of its primary starters from the previous season. Head coach Dawn Staley is very impressed with her team as they had a lot of weight on their shoulders.
I mean, it's heavy. It's heavy. It's heavy. You carry the burden of, every single one of your players, all the coaches and staff members that put so much into our team. And, it's heavy load to be undefeated, to, finish the job.
The fans packed out the arena celebrating the Gamecocks, bringing home a win. Iowa standout player Caitlin Clark played her last game in an Iowa jersey Sunday. Clark scored 30 points against South Carolina, but Iowa still fell short. Clark was hoping to bring a championship to her school, but she's still proud of how far the program has come.
Yeah, I'm sad we lost this game, but I'm also so proud of myself. I'm so proud of my teammates. I'm so proud of this program. There's a lot to be proud of, but, there's going to be tears. It is sad that this is all over, and this is the last time I'm going to put on an Iowa jersey. So I think just reflecting back and, soaking in everything that I was able to do.
Clark announced Thursday she is headed to the WNBA. Clark had another year of eligibility because of COVID-19, but she decided now is the time to hang up her Iowa jersey. Caitlin Clark has so many offers. I bet she could also help the veteran in our next story, don't you think?
For sure, Lyric, Habitat for Humanity gave Milwaukee Navy veteran. I'm so sorry, guys.
We'll see you
right back after the break. Habitat for Humanity gave a Milwaukee Navy veteran a free surprise. David Wuchek served his country for 7 years, but this time he was the one in need. The Navy vet needed a new roof but was unable to afford one. Habitat for Humanity and Owens Corning Roof Deployment Project, an organization that gives new roofs to veterans, chose to help Wuchek for free. Wuchek applied for a roof through the program and wants other veterans to know they can also apply if they are in need. Wuchek served as a Navy photographer from 1977 until 1985. It's always good to see people giving back to those who served our country.
I totally agree, Kennedy. Let's get a final check with what we look forward to with sports, Lyric.
Well, Mauricio, even though Alabama lost in the Final Four against UConn, there's still plenty of basketball to look forward to this season with the NBA Finals, and I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, that playoffs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. And how about a final look at that weather, Alyssa?
Final look at the weather. Well, guys, there should be plenty of sunshine as we head into the weekend. Be sure to go outside, guys, and enjoy the warmth and sun before we have a few light showers early next week. I'm excited to see that warm weather again.
I'm excited to see it too. I know I'll get out and enjoy it. So thanks, Alyssa. That's going to do it for us on the 5 o'clock news.
Thank you for watching and have a great evening. Next on W3.